Hi, I'm Dr. Don Bonner with Personalized Wellness. Today I want to extend this talk that I've been doing on diet and nutrition, and I want to finish up this section on hormones. Today we're going to talk about insulin, and frankly I could spend a long time talking about insulin and insulin resistance. It's a huge deal, huge deal. But today what I want to focus on is the basic mechanism of actions of insulin and why, if your insulin levels are high, you're not going to be a good fat burner. And here at Personalized Wellness, that's what we want. I want you to be a good fat burner. So, what does insulin do? What is its mechanism of action? Insulin is an anabolic hormone. What that means is it's a building hormone. So what does it build? Primarily fat. What insulin does is obviously it decreases blood glucose levels, but it also increases the storage of fat to be used as an energy source at a later time. So your body, in its infinite wisdom, knows that you've had this period where you've eaten a large meal or several large meals, and you've gotten more energy than you need for your body at that particular time. So it has insulin levels go up, and you store for a later date when you may need that energy from fat. So insulin increases your fat storage, and it prevents you from utilizing that fat while that insulin is elevated. Well, what happens eventually, you become what's called insulin resistant. What does that mean? Well, nobody knows the exact mechanism of action, but the way we think this works is you have large spikes of glucose from eating a high glycemic load meal. Your glucose levels spike, your pancreas secretes insulin, brings the glucose down. What happens over a period of time, and this happens over and over and over again, your cells of your body start to become more resistant. They can't hear insulin when it comes to tell the cell to let glucose in. So it takes more and more insulin to get the same effect. So over a period of time, as you become more and more insulin resistant, you have to produce more and more insulin to get the same effect of decreasing blood glucose. And the body does not want blood glucose levels to be high, because blood glucose in itself is damaging to the body. So you need to bring those levels down. So it's going to do everything it can to prevent that from happening. So there's a continuum where if you're measuring fasting glucose levels, that I want to see a glucose level somewhere around 85. You're not going to be considered a diabetic till you're around 125. But as you can tell, there's a huge continuum there between 85 and 125. And that may take upwards to 10 or 15 years before you get to that point. Well, we want to catch you before you get there, because you may have a glucose level of 100 and you think, well, that's not too bad. But your insulin levels may be sky high to try to keep that blood glucose at 100. And that's not good, because eventually your pancreas is going to wear out, you're going to become more and more insulin resistant, and it's not going to be able to keep up, and those blood sugar levels are going to start to creep up, and you're going to become a diabetic. So again, we don't want that. So take home point, these insulin levels are high, you're not going to burn fat. So we've got to bring those insulin levels down so we can become good fat burners. And that's what we want here at Personalized Wellness. We want you to be able to burn fat. So the next video, we're going to go over diet and how we overcome this metabolic derangement with these hormones. And if we have time, we're also going to go into the supplements that I use to help us bring these levels down. Thanks for watching this video. Tune into the next one. I think it's going to be really good. Again, I appreciate it. Thank you.